Come in. Abby.
Hey!
How are you doing?
Really good.
Welcome back.
Really
nice
good.
to see you again. Come on in.
Okay.
Have a seat, just like last time.
Oh, I have some big news.
Oh.
So, since last time I saw you,
Like 2 weeks ago, right?
yeah, I got engaged.
Oh my gosh, you did!
Yes, yes.
So,
I'm so excited. Like,
congratulations. Oh my goodness.
we were up in an airplane and they said, marry me.
Oh
it was
wow. That's so romantic.
Yeah.
Were you expecting it?
I mean, we had looked at rings before, but I did not know it was coming that day.
Oh my gosh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, how is everything else going besides that?
It's been going good. I mean, I would be lying if I said that it was easy. It's definitely been a little bit of a struggle to adjust my habits. I still am just not sold on the whole cooking thing instead of going out to eat, but I understand and I'm trying.
Okay, that's what's important, right? That's what we talked about last time.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do a little review about what we talked about last time? See where we're at, how we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to be so much more motivated now. I got a ring on my finger and I am ready to roll. I want to be healthy. I want to be healthy for my fiance and then eventually for a family. I want to make sure that I am sticking to this and not running out of steam.
Right. Big, exciting plans. Good. Okay.
Yes,
I would be I'm so excited to be on this journey with you and to help you reach your goals. This is very exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So last time you had come in because your doctor referred you, correct?
Yep.
And you remember why? It was like the lab values?
Yeah, my lab values weren't quite good enough, but so now I'm trying to do some changes and seeing what kind of progress I can make before I start on a medication regimen. So I did get my labs retested, and they're not quite where they want them to be yet, so I still have some work to do.
Okay. And I've got your chart right here, actually. So I was thinking we could just compare really quick from. So here's kind of the normals, where it should be desirable.
Okay.
And then here's your values right here. So you can see your total cholesterol is 240. So right at the upper end, right at the upper end. Your LDL, which is the low density lipoprotein. Remember we talked about this a little bit last time. That's
the bad
guy. Lousy. Remember that little device, little mnemonic thing we talked about. So that one's at 161. So again, just on the high side. And then your HDL. Do you remember what the HDL one is?
That's a good guy.
Yep, that's the good guy. So we would want that one to be a little high, not necessarily high, but the upper end. But we're at 35, so a little low. So we gotta
still have some work to do.
Some work to do,
but it's getting better.
Yeah.
So.
These are better than they were last time. So so it's good, and you're slightly just on that upper end. So we'll talk about food and things we can do to get you back into that normal range, and you've got the motivation. So I think we're good to go on that. So other things we talked about last time was the eating out. How has that been going?
Like I said, it's a struggle. It's just so tempting. Like on my way home from work, when there's a Taco Bell right there. I mean, I just would love to just go through the drive-thru. It's so quick and easy. And it's so good. It's definitely been a challenge. I've been trying to pack my own lunch, but those KFC Famous Bowls, they're so good, and that's something that I just am having a really hard time giving up.
Okay.
So I think I would say that I probably go out to eat 4 times a week.
4 times?
Yeah.
Okay. And
which I know that wasn't quite our goal, but I mean it's better.
Closer.
Yeah.
Last time we met, you were at between 6 and 7 times, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting there, right?
Getting there.
Small step. So that's good. So good job on that. And let's see, on my chart here, we also talked about the exercise. So how are you doing with that?
I actually I think this is for the first time in probably 10 years that I stepped foot in a gym.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So that was huge. I was always just so intimidated and scared to go to the gym, and it was actually really great when I got my membership.
Mm-hmm.
They had this where I could have a personal trainer for a whole month for free.
Oh, wow.
And so I just thought that was too good to pass up. So it's been really good for me to learn different moves and exercise. But let me tell you, that first week, I was so sore. Oh man. But so now it's been going good. I mean I don't get there every day, but probably like 4 to 5 times a week.
Wow.
So
that's a big first step, though.
I really have been
and having
making progress.
The trainer is probably helpful.
Oh yeah. But I'm a little worried because I only have 2 more weeks of having the trainer. So like I don't have somebody to kick my butt and make sure that I'm coming to the gym. Right. So I don't know. I'm worried that I'll be putting more weight on then.
Okay. Well, it's good that you expressed that concern. It's good, and now that I have that in my mind as we go through today's session and everything we're going to talk about today, we could definitely maybe incorporate some accountability type things into there and, get down to the nitty-gritty of it. So, okay, so you mentioned you're kind of nervous about gaining weight. Where are you at with your weight status? Did you want to weigh in today? Is that what you want to focus on? Just let me know what you want to talk about today.
I hate going on the scale, but I feel like we need to see where I'm at and see what kind of, if I made any progress.
Yeah.
I don't have a scale at home,
All
so
right.
It just kind of freaks me out.
Sure. So, is that something you'd like to do? We can have you even face away from the number. So, if you want to know, I can tell you, and if not,
I think maybe give me a little bit before I want to know it. So maybe not this session, but maybe a few down the road, I'd want to know.
Sure. So maybe this is something we can do every other time we weigh in.
Yeah.
We can weigh you in. I'll maybe let you know every other time.
Yeah.
We'll see how.
Yeah, I think that would probably be.
Okay. Okay. So if you want to go ahead and slip your shoes off, we've got the scale in office here, so we'll. So go ahead and face that direction. That's fantastic. Okay. All right. Okay, and go ahead and step up. I got your number down.
Okay. I know the last time I was at the doctor, I was at 175, which
175. Okay.
That's probably the highest weight I've ever been at. So it's been kind of hard, but I know that it's just this is a starting point.
Right, and you've got a lot of big things coming up for you ahead of you, so it's exciting. It's good to have a baseline, to set a baseline here. So I will circle this number as where you're at now, and then next time next time you come in 2 weeks-ish from now, I'll go ahead and share that with you, and then maybe we can go over these numbers. But your chart, 5'6", correct? That's still your
5'6".
Okay. So without telling you the weight in pounds, just to see where you're at, kind of assessment-wise, is a thing called BMI. We talked about that a little bit last time. I know we didn't get into the details. We were just sticking with like the broad kind of fast food, exercise type conversations. But for where you're at right now, you do land in the overweight category, which, you know what, that's okay. You could be in the obese category. So, there's definitely further, you could be down, you could have further to go. Yeah. So, we are going to set you up, and you said losing weight is one of the things you want to tackle, correct? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I want to go wedding dress shopping, and I don't want to be that lady with the big belly, and I just want to look good.
Sure. All right. Well, when we go through your diet today, we can talk. Maybe we'll talk food groups first, since we are starting out let's start from the baseline. We don't need to get too specific too soon. And I think what we really should do is maybe focus on getting those lab values back in order. Because from what you've told me and what we've talked about today and last time, I think maybe just having some broad goals seems to work so far for you. Yeah. So, I can calculate your calories and that kind of thing if you'd like. But for now, I think it would be best if maybe we had you on like an eating pattern. How would you feel about that? Okay. Eating pattern? Yeah, and I have been using the MyFitnessPal app. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's good. That's been good for me to kind of keep track, and I don't always like to include everything, right? But so that's something that counts
counts my calories for me.
Right, and and it's good that if you're even logging your food at all, that's another good step. So I think based on everything we've talked about so far, the diet or the eating pattern, it's not really a diet per se, we're going to recommend, it's called the TLC diet. Have you ever heard of that?
I love that show.
Oh.
TLC channel is my channel.
Right. We're not necessarily talking about the channel here, but TLC stands for Therapeutic Lifestyle Changes.
Okay.
And from what you've said, you're looking to change your life, right?
Yes.
For the better, to get healthy, get those lipid levels to where they want to be. So I think maybe if we just kind of go over the basic key components of the diet first and see if you have any questions about the main focus things you have. Taking the approach from last time, I feel like setting a broad goal and working towards it really worked. So maybe we should, go that route again. So the TLC diet, and this is what we recommend for people who are having, high cholesterol or high total cholesterol, high specific cholesterol levels.
Nice.
So we can go through this, and I've got the same handout here, so we can go through. So the first key is to limit saturated fats and trans fats. So the first bullet point on here, it's got a lot of different options for you. So on the first list, is there anything on there you see that you eat, regularly? Maybe we could circle those.
I mean, bacon. I love bacon.
Okay.
I eat poultry, but not usually the skin. I mean, every now and again, I guess. But what does it mean by fatty meat?
Okay, so fatty meats would be things like your sausage or your pepperoni.
Oh, I love pepperoni, but I don't know if I would say that I eat it regularly.
Okay. About how many times per week would you say?
I mean, between pepperoni and sausage, probably like 4 times a week.
Okay.
3 times a
All
week.
Right.
So.
Okay, good to know. So what about the other things on here? Do you do dairy ever? Dairy person?
I mean, I have dairy every now and again, but it's usually not whole milk. I think that tastes gross.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. Food preference.
Butter. I mean, I cook with butter, but
Right.
I mean, I don't put it in my coffee or anything like that.
Right. It's trending now.
I know.
You've
People
heard
are
that.
crazy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've never done it myself, so that's very interesting. So yeah, that's the saturated fat category, and then the trans fats. Those are, if you ever turn the food label around and you see the partially hydrogenated oils, that's going to be the trans fat. Those are definitely not good. Those cause a lot of damage in our arteries. So, if you're at certain levels and your cholesterol is a little high and you're eating a lot of those, it can kind of just make things escalate more quickly. So we're definitely going to want to avoid those things.
So, when you say avoid, do you mean no more?
Well, it's not one of those things where you can never, ever, ever have it again. So maybe an example for the trans fat would be peanut butter. The regular old Skippy peanut butter will have trans fat in it. But we can maybe find a substitution. So maybe a natural peanut butter, or maybe usually doing natural peanut butter and only having the kind with the trans fats in it every once in a while. Kind of thing. And we'll talk about that too. We'll go through a list of things that would be recommended versus things that would not be recommended. So that's the first key point of the TLC. So does that make sense? Is there any questions you have on that?
Yeah. I think that I can do it. I mean, it doesn't look that hard, but I know that I do eat these things often. So just a matter of thinking more about what I'm eating.
Okay. All right. So the next big point on here is to limit the cholesterol that we eat.
Yeah. I've been really trying to look at that since I went to the doctor.
So do you find that you eat a lot of eggs? Again, it's the fatty meat, cheeses.
You know what I saw in the grocery store the other day? It's the eggs that are in a carton, and it says it doesn't have any cholesterol.
Right. Yeah.
How is that? Is that
beaters?
Is that
those things?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
So are those okay?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. I mean, they're a little bit more expensive, but I just know that eggs have a lot of cholesterol in them. So when I saw that, I thought that was probably worth it.
So did you get that?
Yeah, I did. I did, and I haven't tried them yet because I'm a little scared. Just because it sounds kind of crazy.
Right.
But I might try them one of these days.
And they cook the same exact way as eggs. There's a little, if you turn the carton around, there's like a little measurement, so you could figure out if you were going to use regular eggs.
Okay.
Figure out how much to use. So that's handy.
That's good to know.
You can use them the same as eggs. And the nice thing about, if maybe you weren't willing to splurge on a product like that, you could just separate the egg yolk out from the egg and just stick with egg whites. Could be a helpful substitution. For that.
That sounds good.
Okay, so that's good. So our goal is going to be 200 milligrams per day. And so you said you were using the MyFitnessPal app. So maybe that could be one of those things you look at. And just kind of as a rule of thumb, cholesterol is only in animal products. It's not, it comes from animals. So things like eggs or your meat, et cetera, but some processed foods do have derivatives of animal products in them, like baked goods or cookies, cakes, that kind of thing. So you'd want to kind of be wary of that also, but in general, those are the things you can be aware of when we're trying to stay below that 200 milligram thing.
So, but then some animal products just don't have as much?
Varying levels.
Gotcha.
Okay, so any more questions about the cholesterol? That would be, big point number 2.
I think that one I can do because I know that's really important to keep track of. Okay,
that's good. So the next one on here is to eat more heart-healthy fats, specifically the omega-3 kind. So how do you have any, pre-thoughts about that before we get into talking about it? Have you heard about them?
Well, I just read that first bullet point, and I'm not really a seafood girl.
Okay.
I mean, I try, but I don't know if I don't make it right. I just don't ever eat fish.
Okay. All right. So is it like the taste, or is it the texture? What is it about fish?
I think I maybe need to know, how to make it, or a recipe that's really good, because I feel like whenever I think of fish, I just think of straight from the ocean and that fishy smell.
Right.
So
that makes sense.
I mean, maybe I just need to look at some different recipes and give them another try if they are really good for me.
Yeah, definitely increasing your omega-3. So that's one of the more heart protective fats. So like we talked about, the trans fat, once it gets there and we have these high lipid levels, causes more damage. Omega-3s are known to have anti-inflammatory, properties. So maybe kind of undo some of that damage that's already going on there. So just trying to combat it, all the damage that's going on a food level. But omega-3s are also in things like walnuts, canola oil, soybeans. What about any of those? Would you be willing to try any of those?
Yeah.
In your diet?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind walnut and canola oil. That's usually what I use.
Okay. Well, there you go. See, so, we could talk about the fish recipes and stuff. We've got some fish recipes. But if you're definitely a no-go with the fish, we don't have to. But if you would be willing to try it, then
I think I would be able to try it at some point.
Okay. All right. So maybe not this time.
Yeah.
We'll stick with the other things.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's definitely noted. So are you ready to go into the next bullet point?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So we talked about the different kinds of fats, but now we got to kind of look at the big picture. And I know that we don't want to get too specific because you mentioned you like the big kind of, broad ideas to go with. So just in general, we're going to try and limit the amount of fat in our diet. So how familiar are you with, do you click around on MyFitnessPal very often?
Well, they do have something at the top that says how much, your percentage of carbs.
Yeah.
And I know I try to stay away from carbs, but so I should watch fat too.
So fat, we'll talk about carbohydrates in just 1 second, but so we have the general guideline on here. We want to stick with fats between 25 and 35% of your total calories for the day.
Okay.
So even though it might seem kind of vague, if we're getting the fat from the good sources on here, so maybe not these ones, it's going to be helping our heart and providing us with those calories and energy we need to work out and get through our workout.
Yes.
So yeah, if you do want to look at the percentage on your MyFitnessPal, 25 to 35.
to 35.
And from the better sources of fat.
Okay.
So that's good. Okay, so you good with that, with the percentage?
But I can have some of the bad fats too. Just try not to have as much.
Okay. So the recommendation, and this MyFitnessPal isn't going to separate this out for you, but we generally recommend less than 7% when we're following the TLC diet for saturated fat.
From the bad ones.
Yeah, from the not so good ones. Okay. So just a ballpark number to keep in your mind, but unless you calculated it by hand, it would be hard to figure that out. So.
Okay.
And we'll talk about food choices that'll kind of make that decision for you. We'll talk about a sample diet plan. If you were to follow this, it'll hit all of these target goals. So we'll go through that as soon as we get through the rest of these. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one on here is fiber. So you mentioned you try and stay away from carbohydrates. Why is that?
They're bad for you. They make you gain weight.
Okay, so did you hear that on TV or?
I just I know that people who have done low carb diets before, they've lost a lot of weight. So I try to stay away from them.
Okay, that's interesting. So typically, without boring you with the silly details of human anatomy, pretty much what happens when you are skipping out on carbohydrates. Carbs, when we eat them, are stored in your body with water. So when you take away the carbs, you're losing a lot of water weight. So have you noticed any of your friends who've done the low carb thing? What happens when they start eating any kind of carbs again?
They usually put their weight back on.
Yeah, pretty quickly, right?
Yeah.
So just kind of a thing, and I know that you're in a really good mindset right now for motivation. It's good to note that a weight loss that is going to last you years beyond, so maybe down the road, that's what you want.
Yeah.
So it's good to go about it slow. So, we see these commercials and stuff that say, drop 15 pounds in 2 weeks. Realistically, that's probably not something that you can, keep going forever or maintain. So usually what we recommend is about 1 to 2 pounds weight loss per week. And that's, it's slow going.
Yeah.
So, if you want to, next time we can talk about setting a target body weight, we can go with that. But it's good to just kind of have in your mind that the slower you go, the usually more likely, the more consistently you lose.
Yeah,
if you think right. So if you think about kind of like going to the gym a little bit. So if you would have started going to the gym, maybe even without the personal trainer, 7 days a week, exercising as hard as you possibly could. How long do you think that might have lasted for?
7 days.
Right? 7 days. But with your personal trainer, like you were telling me, 1 to 3, sometimes 4 days a week, you have someone showing you what to do, and he's teaching you the moves, so you'll probably be likely to keep it going, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the same idea with weight loss. So, and just to kind of bring it back to the carbohydrates, it's the same idea. So sure, if you cut out any big food group, you're likely to see a very drastic change, but that's not really what we want to promote.
Okay.
For the fad
slow
diets.
And steady.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, those fad diets, that's not what they want. They want it now. So yeah, we're going with the slow and steady, but kind of to wrap this back to the carbohydrates. The carbohydrates especially are going to give you that energy to get through your workouts.
Oh.
So that's our body's number one source of fuel, especially when we're exercising. So we can, when we get to the food section, we can talk about the different types of carbohydrates. So have you heard anything about different types of carbohydrates, or you just stay away from all of them in general?
Like cake and cookies. That's I just try not to eat them as much as I want to.
Mm-hmm. So you like sweets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're biologically designed to try and eat sweet things because that's how we stay alive, right? So it's not a bad thing to want to eat any kind of sweets, but we could talk about maybe strategies to work those in to the diet, if you want to do that.
Oh, yeah. I want to work them in.
Okay, well, we'll work on that when we get to the food groups, but for now, just another key point is the carbohydrates, maybe try and unprogram that in your mind that carbohydrates are bad.
Okay.
Because they're not necessarily a bad thing. We just want to pick, the smarter options. So when you think of a carbohydrate, what do you usually think of?
Bread.
Bread, right?
Yeah.
Like rice, the cookies, the cake.
Pastas.
Pasta,
yeah.
So things like fruit and vegetables also have carbohydrates too. Were you familiar with that? Did you know that?
No.
So,
I thought it was just like bread kind of stuff.
And that's kind of what mainstream media makes people think, is
Yeah.
that it's just the, grain type things.
Mm.
But, that's not true at all. There's carbohydrates that can definitely be not only not bad, but really, really good for you. So on our list right here, we've got fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans. Those are the carbohydrates that are not only, can be worked into the diet, but they're actually the things we want to promote because they have a lot of fiber in them. So the point on here is to get 20 to 30 grams of fiber per day.
Okay.
Do you have any idea why we might want to do that?
Because it's good for you?
Yes. Yes, it is good for you. So especially for someone who's trying to lose weight, we definitely want to get fiber in their diet because it makes the food move through our digestive tract a lot slower, which will make us feel fuller for longer. Then maybe we won't eat as much later in the day, and then maybe we'll end up, burning off more calories. Does that kind of make any sense? So keeping us full so we don't want to continually eat and eat, because that's where weight gain comes from, is when we're eating. The other cool thing about fiber, there's 2 types. Are you familiar with that at all or no?
No.
No?
I'm not really well versed in fiber. I know that it can make you a little gassy, but
That's true. And that's a really good point. Slow and steady wins the race. So even when we're talking about fiber, you want to work it in slowly. So we're not going to start you up at, okay, I want you to eat 30 grams of fiber today because you'll probably be a little gassy. You might be cramping, that sort of thing. So we'll start you off slow. Maybe we can look at your MyFitnessPal over the past few days, see where you're at, and kind of bump you up maybe a few grams every day. So we can get to that, in a little bit too. But another cool thing about fiber is there's 2 types, soluble and insoluble. So the really cool thing when it comes to, lipid levels, soluble fiber, when you eat it, it forms this like gel mass kind of in your digestive system, which sounds really weird. Are you familiar with chia seeds?
Kinda.
Yeah. You know what they look like?
Yeah.
So have you ever maybe like spilled water if you had some on the counter or anything?
Mm-mm.
Never? Well, what happens when the water gets in with the chia seeds is it forms this like jelly kind of blob. So, which sounds weird, but it can actually be really beneficial for when we have high cholesterol. So if you're eating the soluble fiber and you've got that in your stomach and you eat, the animal foods with the cholesterol, think about that jelly blob kind of in your intestine. Mm-hmm. It definitely has the ability to trap that cholesterol inside of it. So if the cholesterol is trapped inside the jelly blob, our bodies aren't going to be able to digest it, so it won't get in our blood and cause more damage.
Huh.
So that's one reason we say that the soluble fiber is good to have, because then you can get some of that cholesterol out before it even gets in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I guess that does make sense.
Yeah.
So how do I know if it has soluble fiber?
Well, for the most part, when you turn over the nutrition label, sometimes it'll break it down into the 2 different kinds. But if it doesn't, just all the sources on here, the beans, the fruits, vegetables, whole grains, those sort of things, they usually have both kinds of fiber.
Oh.
So eating these like good whole foods, the ones that kind of fit, just in general, those will really provide that for you. So we'll get you in there with the cholesterol sweeping away, so it'll be good to go. So do you want to move on to the next point, or do you have any more questions?
No, I think I got that.
Okay. So the last one on here is just kind of eating more plant-based meals. How do you feel about that?
Well, I don't know. Since I am trying not to go out to eat so much, it'll probably be more feasible. Because I feel like when I go out to eat, I always just think like burger, fried chicken, like taco. Sure,
and the places they make it, that's their specialty kind of thing.
Yeah.
So what about cooking? Do you cook a lot?
I've been trying to get into it, the way that man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
So I've been trying.
Uh-huh.
I do actually make a really good chili that I think that maybe I could try to make with a little less meat. Because it has a lot of beans in it.
Yeah.
So.
Fiber. Those are good.
Yeah. So I think that I could maybe try soy products too. Huh? I've never cooked with soy before.
Never?
No.
Okay, well we've got some good handouts here too, so we can talk about ways to incorporate more of a plant-based diet. But now, if you go to the next page of our handout, so there's two sides here.
Okay.
So we've got the foods to recommend and the foods that maybe we don't want to cut them out completely.
Okay.
But we want to definitely maybe reduce them a little bit more. So.
Geez, I think that not eating one is bigger than the other one.
Well, there's definitely some things on there that we don't want to get too much of. So when you go for grains, what type do you usually go for? And I know you said you try and avoid the carbohydrates, but if you look on here, these are all the, quote, the good guys that we would want to say. So that's the whole grain breads and cereals, oats, barley, whole grain pasta, popcorn as a whole grain.
Oh, I love popcorn. I love popcorn.
So do you do the buttered popcorn then?
Like I love kettle corn. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a microwave one.
Okay.
It's really good.
So and the next one of the other categories down here is the fats and oils. So we want to make sure that there's not a lot of extra butter on there. So are you familiar with the margarine that's got the plant sterols and stanols? Have you ever heard of those products before?
I'll use like canola oil or butter if I'm cooking, I guess.
Would you be willing to maybe try like a margarine?
I suppose.
So they've got these.
Is that better for me?
Well, you gotta choose wisely is the thing.
Oh.
So they have these products now that are, it's usually some sort of like vegetable-based margarine, and they have these compounds in them called plant sterols and stanols. So what those do when you eat them is it's kind of the plant, because like I said, the cholesterol is only in animal foods. So it's kind of the plant's version of that, So if maybe not like a flower, but like any kind of plant in general, that's its own body's version of cholesterol.
Oh.
So what happens when we eat that, so we're going back to, like inside of our guts kind of thing. So remember with the soluble fiber, when we ate it, it trapped the cholesterol so we couldn't even absorb it. So plant sterols and stanols have the same shape as animal cholesterol.
Yeah.
So when we eat it and they're all in our stomach trying to get into those absorption sites, it's shaped the same. So they're kind of like fighting to get into the same. If you think about like a car in a parking lot, and you have to get to your assigned parking space, and there's like shapes for, every certain color car, all the plant sterols and plant stanols and cholesterol would all be trying to get into that same parking space. Does that make sense? So if the plant sterols and stanols are parked there, the cholesterol won't be able to get in and, just gets excreted.
Oh.
So
yeah.
Kind of a fun.
That does make a lot of sense.
Oh, so yeah, kind of a interesting product that they have out there now.
So do I need to look for a specific margarine? Like, will it say it on there?
Yeah, it'll say it on there.
Okay.
Added plant sterols and stanols.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you need to look at, there's a bunch of different brands online too. And if you Google it, you find all kinds of good stuff. And it's in other products too, like orange juices sometimes, milks, that kind of thing. So just something to be aware, to look out for.
Okay.
So the other thing on here, so we talked about grains, fruits and vegetables. How do you feel about fruits and vegetables?
I've been trying.
That's good.
I like fruit, but I just feel like with vegetables, it's like salad. Well, I only want so many salads in a day.
True.
So, I think fruit, though, I think I do pretty good with it.
Good. That's definitely good. And, for the vegetables, it's one of those things that there's a lot of benefits. You've got the fiber, like we talked about. You've got the vitamins, the minerals, the phytonutrients, the antioxidants. There's just so many benefits that if you'd be willing to incorporate it into your diet, we could definitely go over some recipes maybe, figure out what you do like, figure out what you don't like. that kind of thing. You said you liked Taco Bell, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what about like fajita vegetables? Is that something you'd be willing to maybe learn to make?
I guess I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I would.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least try it. I'm open to try it.
Okay. Yeah, that's good then. So maybe we can look for some specific recipes for maybe some fajita to spice up your life a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
A bit of pepper.
Yeah, little peppers, maybe some red onions. We can definitely look at those. Okay, so when we're talking about like dairy products, I know you're not super big on the whole milk, right?
Yeah. No, not with the whole milk.
Okay.
I just it's like too thick.
Okay, so that's good. So the big key message when it comes to dairy foods is you want to choose the low fat or fat free options.
Okay.
So are you noticing kind of like the trend here is like we just want the fat is you know the thing of it. We want to get more of like the good stuff, the fiber, the vitamins, minerals, and fat is the big thing we really want to kind of cut down on. So as far as dairy goes, I think you're doing pretty good on that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I have skim milk, and I every now and again will have cottage cheese.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, cheese sometimes, like in my my KFC famous bowl.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah,
cheese.
Sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I remember, like we talked about, the more you kind of cook at home, the more you can control what kind of cheese is going on there.
That's true.
I don't know if KFC uses reduced fat cheese.
Oh.
I would assume not.
Probably not.
So,
Probably not.
And, you know, just like last time when we were talking about fast foods, like, sometimes it's okay to kind of splurge on our diet if we are at an eating establishment. We just want to rein it in when we are cooking, which you expressed that you want to try doing more.
Yeah,
so.
I do.
So that's good.
I do. I want to try.
Okay. So as far as like the meat and other protein foods go, you said that you know pepperoni sausage a few times a week.
Sometimes, yeah.
You're not really big on poultry with skin.
No.
And the eggs, you started watching the yolks.
Yeah.
So that's good.
I'm trying to do that.
That's good. So as far as like the recommended ones go, we just want to try and get like the lean cuts of meat. So, you know, if you're making steak or fajitas or something, and you can visibly see that like fatty marbling on there, maybe just cut that off. You know, trim it up, or buy the lean variety. Maybe go with ground turkey instead of beef.
Do you think if I like just drain the fat, that's okay? Or?
That's definitely better. So yeah, that's definitely a start, you know. And again, it's kind of like that whole fiber thing. We don't want to send you off in packing with like, you know, cramps and stuff because we started too much too soon. Okay. So I think if that's something you're not doing right now is not draining and that's where you'd like to start, that'd definitely be a good place to start.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe we can transition into, okay, well, we'll cut off the extra this. Or, now we're going to go to the leaner percent or whatever. Or maybe we'll switch to, you know, chicken without the skin. So yeah, just keeping all these options. And this is not the thing that I like about the TLC diet and recommending it to clients is it's very lenient, you know. Is there anything in here that seems like super outrageous to you so far?
No, I don't think so. So far, I think it's pretty doable.
Like just kind of tweaking what we're already doing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's good. And that's
downsizing what I'm eating now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then the last thing on here is the oil. So you said you do the canola oil.
Yeah.
So that's good. Some other unsaturated oils on here: the olive, peanut, soy, sunflower, the margarines we talked about. Maybe looking for those new varieties, switching it out with that butter.
Yeah.
Salad dressing, seeds and nuts and avocados. Other ways to get those healthy fats in there.
I'm surprised it says salad dressings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, you know, and that's another thing. It's, you know, main media makes kind of every food the devil at some point, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, salad dressings and just fat in general, it's definitely not bad. Same as carbohydrates. There are ways to choose wisely. The great thing about salad dressings is so if you think about, you know, like your salad you have, think about how many vitamins and minerals are all in that salad. You've got, you know, big, colorful, leafy greens, you've got your peppers, your, you know, whatever. So you usually have like a rainbow of colors in the salad, right?
your salads sound a little better than mine.
Well, I'm going to share my recipes with you, so that would be good. But in general, would you say salads are more colorful than than your KFC famous bowl, right? So if you think about it, all those different colors in there are representing the different vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals and nutrients.
Oh.
And the way that those get into our body, kind of like, it's a little bit different. So cholesterol goes in one way, remember when we're talking about our intestines, but there's these things called fat-soluble vitamins. And the way they get in is they hitch a ride with the fat. And those are vitamins A, D, E, and K. They're all very, very important to our health, but if we don't have any fat in our diet, those things don't have anything to hitch a ride with. So then we don't get any of those. So when people, kind of make salad dressings out to be bad, that's like a one-way ticket for all those vitamins and minerals in the salad to kind of get into our body. So yeah, definitely not bad. So, but I could see, they make salad dressings seem so bad and make fat seem so bad that they forget to say, oh, hey, you're kind of leaving out all this other stuff that you're making me miss out on the good stuff. So yeah, salad dressing is definitely...
That's interesting.
Definitely a wise choice. And again, as long as we're not drowning the salad in it, those calories can add up quickly. So we got to watch for that. But, so do you have any other questions about the recommender? You think these are all things you could kind of work into your diet?
Yeah, I think that I can. It's definitely something that I'm going to have to be more conscious of. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It kind of seems like a small list, but we'll see. We'll see how well I can do.
So do you have any concerns or anything kind of moving forward as far as like choosing or like putting these things together?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a challenge. Mm-hmm. Because like if I think of a meal, I think I'm going to make roast beef and mashed potatoes.
Okay.
I don't think of every food group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that could be a little tricky.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe one thing that might help too is if you go and, say you hang this on your refrigerator or something, so you have it kind of right there, and you just kind of try and balance your plate. Are you familiar with My Plate? I know we went over that handout last time.
Yeah,
I remember the plate.
It was like half a plate is fruits and
Nice.
vegetables.
Wow, way to retain that. Fun fact. Excellent. Good job. That's really good. So if you think about kind of that visual with these foods, does that kind of help make it a little bit easier?
Yeah.
So if you kind of know what you're going for, then maybe choosing these better options to fill up the different compartments on My Plate, does that make it maybe seem a little bit less scary? And then, I also made up a sample meal plan for you. And yeah, you've got, it's on the bottom of this page and then onto the next one.
Okay.
So that's just, and this is, just an example of how to work those things in here. If you just want to look over it really quick, if you have any questions, we can talk about it. But this is just kind of like maybe to get you going, get you started, give you some ideas.
I thought juice was bad.
Oh, no. Did you hear that on the TV? Or where'd you hear that from?
I watch a lot of different stuff on TV, but I heard, because it just has so much sugar, it's not good.
Mm-hmm. So, again, kind of like we talked about the cookies and the cakes.
Yeah. Sure,
it's a very concentrated source of maybe those not so good for us carbohydrates. And it just kind of, like everything else, everything's fine just a little bit. You don't want to overdo it with the sugar or with the juice or with the cookies or the cakes, but working in a little bit, or having a smaller portion size more often.
Okay.
Sound doable?
I think so.
Okay.
A sandwich, that would be good for lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Whole wheat bread. I'll have to work on that. But I think I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
And the fish for supper. That'll be something I'll try at some point.
Mm-hmm. Sure, maybe not right away. You could substitute that that's kind of like the fun thing on here about it's more of a diet pattern. So if you want fish, well, there's a whole list of other, like protein options you could sub in there. So maybe if you weren't feeling like, meat at all, maybe we could have a few hard-boiled eggs and just pop the yolks out,
Okay.
Kind of think get that protein in there,
Yeah.
but if you weren't feeling like me. So yeah, this is all kind of a mix and match type thing.
Okay. Huh. And then I see blueberries with frozen yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
That's like dessert?
Well, how does that sound to you?
That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had frozen yogurt besides at the cherry berry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That
you
sounds
can
good.
you can buy it at the store. You can get look for the low fat dairy options.
Oh.
Pair it with some fruit.
They have low fat frozen yogurt?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Even fat free too.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah. But now that you have that in your mind, that little low fat or no fat kind of thing,
Yeah.
it will probably start jumping out at you more as you have these things top of mind, which is good. Which is why the key to the TLC handout that I gave you is really important. Just working on every one of these every now and then, and again, it's a very slow process. Just taking it at your own pace. So that's pretty much it for the handouts. Do you have any questions before we wrap it up? We can talk about
what
next week.
So with
2 weeks.
low fat stuff,
Mm-hmm.
so if it's labeled low fat, then that's good. That's what I'm going for.
So you want to be careful with that kind of thing. So when you go for snacks, are you a salty, sweet person?
Oh, I'm a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, aren't we all? Right? So the thing with low fat, in general, like we talked about with the TLC diet specifically, we're concerned about fat. You have to keep the context of your whole diet in general. Remember, we talked about carbohydrates aren't bad. Everything is, like the cookies and whatever, it's fine, just not every day type of thing. So the thing about the low-fat snacks is, let me put it to you this way. So what do you think would be better to have? Maybe a low-fat cookie or the blueberries and frozen yogurt?
Probably the blueberries and yogurt.
Mm-hmm. So although the low-fat cookies are still low-fat, at the end of the day, it's still a cookie. But if we're, talking about in the context of the amount of fat, remember we only want to have the 25 to 35%. If you do want to have that snack or those crackers or anything, low fat, it would be the way to go.
Okay.
And then you just have to kind of be careful and mindful. And I know we talked about label reading last session when you came in. We want to just, be aware of the sodium and extra sugar they might add if they're taking out the fat, the good stuff. They're likely to put other stuff in there. So, not necessarily bad.
Okay.
Just kind of snacker beware, I guess, is kind of the warning.
Okay.
So when you're going,
yeah.
So just kind of keeping it in mind. We want to stick to, the foods on here. But if you do, you want those crackers, you want that cookie, maybe kind of keep in mind, well, I'm supposed to be watching my fat. But then just being aware that, well, if they took out the fat, what do they put in, Does that make sense? Yeah,
so it just, and maybe it'll help me too when I put my stuff into MyFitnessPal.
Yeah.
Keep track of that stuff. But if I just, I think it's probably best if I just try to not buy it because once it's at my house, then it's just really tempting.
Mm-hmm. And that's one strategy, Unless you, there's a lot of different ways. That's the other thing I like about this. It's not stringent. It's not eat this and not that. It's, well, let's maybe switch this with this. Okay, I had maybe a high-fat meat for breakfast, so maybe we'll do low-fat the rest of the day. Does that make sense? It's all kind of a balancing game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a puzzle, I think.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think that this is doable.
Okay, good.
I think that, it's still going to be a struggle, but I definitely think that it's something that I can work on.
Mm-hmm. And, and it's okay. Setbacks are going to happen. It's kind of like the fast food eating out thing. Remember how last session our goal was to get it down to 2 times a week? Mm-hmm. And you did 4, which is okay. But did you feel better? Did you feel like you accomplished something?
Yeah, I do think that I was working hard not to give in to those temptations of hitting the drive-thru.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same idea with this. I'm not expecting you to eat that sample menu every single day until I see you again. It's just kind of an idea, giving you points to kind of okay, where do I want to focus on today? What should I do today? And speaking of focuses, do you want to maybe set some goals for next session?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be good to give me something to work towards.
Okay. All right.
Towards for next time.
I will give you the pen here and have you write down your own goals. So I'm thinking for the goals, maybe we can pull them from the key to the TLC worksheet that we have.
Yes.
So which one of those key components maybe you can pick one or two, whatever you're comfortable with. Which ones do you think would be most beneficial for you to focus on?
I think protein, like working on that. Maybe trying to
getting the leaner options.
Yeah, do a little less.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I'll say like lean options, at least one meal per day.
Sure. There we go. That's specific. Nice. And it's always important to, make it measurable too. So, you talked about the MyFitnessPal, so maybe that can be your the way you measure it.
Yeah. Yeah, and recording it in MyFitnessPal.
So do you think that one time a day, is that, you think that's like, you got that? You could do that?
Yeah, I think that's at least a good, I feel like that gives me cushion too.
And that's good. It's realistic.
Because then I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't
right
make it all 3 meals. So I think that would be a good starting point.
And so as far as maybe a deadline, so we're saying 1 meal a day.
Yeah.
And then we'll meet again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, let's do that for 2 weeks and see
2 weeks.
see where that goes.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other goals you want to set?
Maybe working on those snack foods.
Oh, okay, the snack foods. So, and we talked about this and even the lunches too. Yeah. I made this little handout here for you. So last week we had talked about eating the healthy options at fast food, which you said you did. So I know we're gonna try and maybe bump that fast food, eating out thing a little bit less. So here's just some really quick, simple, easy to take and go recipes.
Oh, perfect.
And, all of those meet the criteria for the recommended foods. So again, just to kind of get some ideas to go through. Some quick, simple things. You can take them on your lunch and go.
This is great. Ooh, a sweet potato. Huh.
So is there maybe a goal you want to set off of that list, or?
I think I want to try a bunch of these recipes.
Okay. So maybe we can make it a little bit more concrete and measurable. How many would you say until the next time we meet?
Yeah, let's maybe try 5. Try to do 5 of the recipes.
All right.
In the next 2 weeks. I think that I could do that because they seem like easy or fairly easy recipes. Seems doable. So yeah, let's try. Should I say try 5 of these new recipes?
Yeah, if that's what you're comfortable with.
Before next meeting or whatever in 2 weeks. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
All right.
And then I think that I should make one for exercising, just to keep on that.
Yeah.
So maybe just make sure I'm going for sure 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Keep up with that and going to my personal trainer and stuff. So exercise 3 times a week for the next 2 weeks. Okay.
Those sound like some fantastic, attainable, realistic, timely, measurable goals. Those are great.
I think that'll give us some good leeway to work towards. Yeah. And these recipes will be good to try. I'll have to let you know. Let you know how they go. Let you know if the good old fiance likes them too.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
He's kind of picky. So.
Well, hope he'll be the judge then. He'll be the critic. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up here?
This was really good for me to go through, and I'll hang that TLC diet on my fridge so I can reference it.
Good. And you have my contact information if you have any questions or even you just want to give me a call if you're having trouble with any one of the recipes or anything, I'm completely here for you. So
perfect.
So let me know. Thank you again, and congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, see ya.